Welcome to Caliber TTS, the airgun channel that explores the science of shooting. In this video, we're going to talk about an important concept in ballistics, the ballistic coefficient. We'll delve into the science behind it, how it affects accuracy and range, and why it's important to understand for airgun shooters. So, what is ballistic coefficient? Simply put, it's a measure of how well a projectile can overcome air resistance as it travels through the air. The higher the ballistic coefficient, the better the projectile can maintain its velocity and energy, and the flatter its trajectory will be over a given distance. But how is ballistic coefficient calculated? Well, it's based on the shape and weight of the projectile, as well as its velocity and the density of the air it's traveling through. Specifically, the ballistic coefficient is the ratio of the projectile's sectional density to its drag coefficient. Sectional density is a measure of how much mass is distributed within a given cross-sectional area of the projectile. In other words, it's a measure of the projectile's ability to penetrate through a target. The higher the sectional density, the greater the penetration potential. Drag coefficient, on the other hand, is a measure of how much air resistance the projectile encounters as it travels through the air. It's affected by a number of factors, such as the shape, size, and surface texture of the projectile, as well as the air density and temperature. To calculate ballistic coefficient, we divide the projectile's sectional density by its drag coefficient. The resulting number is a decimal that ranges from less than 0 to more than 1. A higher number indicates a better ballistic coefficient, meaning the projectile will travel farther and with greater accuracy than a similar projectile with a lower ballistic coefficient. So, why is ballistic coefficient important for airgun shooters? Well, it can have a significant impact on accuracy and range. Air resistance can cause a projectile to slow down and lose energy, which can result in a curved trajectory that's difficult to predict. By using projectiles with a high ballistic coefficient, airgun shooters can improve accuracy and maintain a flatter trajectory over longer distances. It's also worth noting that the ballistic coefficient can vary depending on the velocity of the projectile. As the projectile slows down due to air resistance, its ballistic coefficient can decrease. This means that airgun shooters need to consider the range and velocity of their shots when choosing projectiles with a high ballistic coefficient. So, that's a brief overview of ballistic coefficient and its importance for airgun shooters. Understanding this concept can help you choose the right projectiles for your airgun and improve your accuracy and range. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Caliber TTS.